Let's start from Viadana and the problems of its operators. And it will be Alessandra Tosi and Antonella Taragnani that describe the situation. Antonella Tosi, you have the floor. My name is Alessandra. I am the social worker of Viadana municipality, and I meet every day for my job the migrants that live in our territory. And here today I will describe what has happened in my daily experience. During the meetings in which those who belong to the various institutions and have dealt with their daily practice, need was underlined. First of all, that of more communication and sharing among operators who take action on the same situation without knowing each other work. We work on emergency, a woman who is beaten up, and with the colleagues from the local health unit we take action because it's urgent, but it would be much more useful to create another approach and to program action and share knowledge involving all the operators that deal with the same case. All the operators underlined how important it would be to have a specific training on the themes of migration to tackle the issues better. Another need highlighted is that of a better synergy with the cultural mediators, who are a true bridge that connects different cultures. And these operators would be very useful already in programming a service to be offered to migrants and not only calling them when there is a serious problem. What happens today that if an Indian woman, for example, is beaten in the home, an Indian mediator is called, but this should not work like that. Another need was that of a more targeted action and the need to work in a network, not only on the emergencies or specific cases, but also in the difficulties that are met daily. And sharing means having richer points of view and finding new possible paths for more creative and effective solutions, and being able to share resources which are smaller and smaller, unfortunately. Creating a new way to be in a network, we would create new opportunities of communication and exchange with migrant citizens that would become more active and feel more strongly a feeling of integration and belonging. And I want to conclude by telling you a story that happened a few months ago to me. One Thursday afternoon, the police called us, the social workers, because a young Romanian woman was menacing to commit suicide. She had been left by her companion. And the police had talked to her, but she was not at all at ease. I went to see her, and I sat before her and I talked to her, trying to talk in a very calm way and describing how important her life was, how many projects she could have, and how much she could change, and how changes can make our life different in an unexpected way. Sonia, this is of course is not a true name, was convinced to come to the psychosocial center, and operators welcomed her and assisted her. In the evening, I brought her home again. The day after, her sister came to pick her up. And then Sonia came back to my office with her sister. They both thanked me, and then she came near to me, she thanked me, and she told me that I had been like a mother to her. We hugged. We were very moved, both of us. And I wanted to describe this to you because beyond good practices and synergies that we want to create, we should always remember that we are faced with persons, and with these persons, a very good relation can be created and built. Thank you. I will continue based on what Alexandra told us. I welcome you on behalf of Dr. Tommasini, the director of the Health Service, and Dr. Gasparini, who have both shared the project and the protocol. I will describe the experience of the Family Support Center I coordinate and the Family Advice Center, and I'll try to describe the experience of our operators, in particular the obstetrician Daniela Mantovanelli and the social server who have participated to this training path, a path which has been an important occasion of learning. The operators had some difficulties in dealing with the foreigners that are more and more numerous and come more numerously to our Family Advice Center. And the difficulties have to do with three issues in particular. First of all, the difficulties in communication for language and cultural reasons, so both the verbal aspects but also non-verbal aspects of behavior. A second aspect which is important is also the difference in terms of the idea of health and disease. So we are a socio-sanitary integrated service, and these issues are very central to our work. So, for example, how each of us and the various ethnic groups, including the Italian group, deal with the idea of disease and emergency. There are cultural differences and differences in the mode of approaching situations. So unease, be it in terms of health or psychological, is perceived in a different way. And for example, it's a very trivial example, but I think it's very useful in terms of preoccupation. When you have to go to the emergency room, when I bring my son to the emergency room, or if I go to the pediatrician, well, this is a very special moment, difficult to tackle. Other aspects that are significant are the idea of how pregnancy is tackled. Pregnancy is a process that, of course, entails the behavior of the operators. The obstetricians, for example, try and control feeding habits. So correct feeding habits are important. How much you have to eat, what are the foods you have to eat. In the beginning, our obstetricians dealt in the same way with different ethnic groups. But then they realized that just because there are different habits, different religions also, and religious habits, not all pregnant women like the same foods. And so the obstetricians started to describe elements that you have to intake, carbohydrates, proteins, and each woman, and the women can decide where to look for the elements. So it's a very trivial example, but this entails a completely new approach and a new respect to the habits and religions and attitudes of patients. As Dr. Malacarne was saying, the lack of mutual knowledge among different services and institutions. So the point is, what are the correct procedures to set up? We had, unfortunately, negative experiences, and we hope that the relations can improve in terms of knowing what each service does so that the procedures can be improved. There were negative consequences on the users sometimes because indications given on how to deal with another service were not correct sometimes. So we are trying to reorganize the relations between different services to make it easier for the users. However, knowing each other always brings good things, as we said. Even for trainers, whenever we are confronted with someone who is different, we both become richer. So it's not only the users that become richer in contact with the operator, but also operators become richer from the contact with users, whatever their ethnic group. New opportunities came in time, intercultural courses, the presence of linguistic and cultural mediators. We have one of Arabic and one of Hindi, and then multilingual telephone interpretation, and the intercultural project we're dealing with today. Try to be very short. In our services, we have many foreigners coming, women that are pregnant, and birth preparation courses are organized, and also post-birth training courses for would-be parents. For example, we teach newly born massage, and the obstetricians talk to women how children have and how newlyborns have to be massaged. When we started to organize courses with women of different ethnic groups, these women started to show how to massage your newly born in their own country. And so there was a very interesting process of sharing of cultures that made it much easier to understand each other's culture and heritage. And then we thought that we could open up. Why should we wait for women and young people coming to the advisory center? We could make proposals. So operators decided to make field trips, go to faraway hamlets and small municipalities to disseminate the offer of services that concern pregnancy and parenting, etc. And we organized teas and afternoon teas, and every woman from different ethnic groups brought pastries. So there was a cultural exchange. It's always very pleasant to work in a good environment and providing help and support and sharing culture with other people. I'll try to be short. The operators of the services, of all the services of the district, so of the Family Advice Center, but also preventive medicine, and the Center for Home Care, where we deal with the elderly people, disabled people, and the service for drug addiction and alcohol addiction. So all these centers were ready to provide information and create information service meetings at the intercultural center that we have planned to create. And so we hope that there will be a good networking to implement this very important project, which is certainly very innovative. Thank you.